I think we've learned a lot since we've been here. I think that when we started in this space, we thought that it would be really easy to fill it up. You know, it's both in a very literal way with artwork and also just with bringing people in, crowds of people, always making the rent, being able to pay our bills. And unfortunately, that has not always been the case. And I think that we were thinking a little bit bigger than we should have. So the new space is a little smaller, but it feels more our size, and it feels a little more manageable and a little more like something we can handle and sort of grow with, as opposed to trying to fill up. The most obvious difference that you can see is we're losing our big high ceilings. It's going to be easier to find.
Maybe.
We hope. It's right on the Beltline, which we're really excited about. We hope to start doing some sort of outdoor music stuff, kind of bands on the Beltline type things, which we're really excited about. And it just kind of flows better. Anybody who's come to our space that we're in now, there's one door, it kind of bottlenecks, and the flow isn't that great.
Better feng shui to the new
feng shui is not great. But the new space, there's 2 entrances, the bar is separate from the gallery, and there's 2 doors into that area, so it can kind of just circle throughout the space a lot better.
I think the space is organized a little bit more like a traditional gallery. It's not, there's not a lot of creative wall space. Like we have a pyramid-shaped wall in here that sort of lends itself to arranging art strangely. Like it's more, the walls are all rectangular, and the ceiling, you can see the ceiling from the ground. So it's, in that sense, it'll be more traditionally organized. But we hope to continue doing lots of installation-based stuff and just like really creative presentations, despite being in a gallery-shaped gallery.
But I think doing more curated stuff, artists can really focus on the work that they think is best. Here, they kind of think, okay, I have to fill up everything, so they put everything they have on the wall. Whereas in the new space, it's a little smaller, a little more compact, so they can really pick out, what works best for them and show it. Well, when we started, Mint grew out of a community-based media class. I was a film major at Georgia State. And I'd kind of had this idea in my head that, I would start this art gallery when I got out of school. And I said, well, why don't I just do it now? It's not going to be that hard. So at the time, the only other spaces that were around that were kind of alternative and independent were Youngblood and iDrum. Beep Beep was starting around the same time. So it was kind of the 4 of us for a while. And I think that between those 4 spaces, that energy just sort of snowballed and grew. And Wonder Root happened, and then some of these art collectives like Cheap Paper and Dodecapus happened, and then you started having these public art projects, and it all just sort of kind of came together in this really sort of magical thing.
I think part of that might be sort of part of the energy that it seems that is building might be just kind of, I think it has something to do with younger people coming out of school having more immediate spaces to show and places to go right into, because when you're dealing just with higher end galleries, there's a huge gap between people coming, there's some people for sure that can come right out of school and show there and have like, $1,000 pieces of work ready to go, but that is not, that's not the case across the board. And it's good to have stepping stones to get artists there, or just to have places to see this art that's not ready for the big time. I think the most important thing to think about is just providing an opportunity, just more opportunities, where, there can never be enough, good opportunities for, emerging artists to show or to curate, where that's something that a lot of spaces don't offer, is outside, curatorial opportunities.
I think a lot of people think of us as just a gallery, and I really push for people to recognize and see that we haven't done everything that we want to do. We're working on a mentorship program that's going to be launched next year. We're working on a public art initiative that we're hoping to launch next year. And then, of course, doing stuff with Gather Atlanta. We work with a lot of other venues around town, just putting art on their walls, which is kind of a small thing, but we hope that contributes to the overall picture.